All right, this is going to be my top 5 bosses that suck in Tekken. This was actually a pretty tough one because I had to really give this request an honest think because, like, at least most of the bosses in Tekken are pretty damn good. I mean, there's only maybe like a couple that legit suck. Like, think about a review like that. 5 bosses that suck. So some, at least most of the 5 that I have on this list, they don't necessarily suck per se, but they're not as good as the other bosses. Like, for example, Tekken 2 Kazuya, Tekken 2 Devil, Tekken 3 Ogre. Like, those are, anybody would agree that those are good bosses. I'm going to be naming the ones that are not quite as good in hindsight. So let's get started. Alright, number 5 on this list is Tekken Tag 1 Unknown. Alright, at least it is number 5 on this list. I mean, we're talking about all bosses from all 10 of the games. And this one just doesn't quite, it's not bad, but it's not the best. And the reason why is because all Unknown does is just switch between the other people's fighting styles. Like, really, what is she other than like a better? She's like an advanced Mokujin. A boss fight should have their own moves. I don't know. It kind of makes her. I mean, her design is awesome. This is one of the best designs I've ever seen. I actually think her Tag 1 design looks better than her Tag 2 design. But she's not interesting as far as her moves. Also, the music. Like, the music is not bad, but it's not great either. It just sounds like, I guess it sounds scary enough. I mean, with the sound effects in the background, but it just sounds like not the Backstreet Boys. It sounds like NSYNC, like Justin Timberlake singing. Like, I feel as though her music is not that interesting overall. Like, give her something more like Need for Speed Porsche Unleashed music. Like, let me get just listen for a second. You see what I mean? Like, it just feels more like she needs a theme song that sounds more like a party, scary a little bit still. Like, she needs like a female voice in the background, like what you heard in that Porsche Unleashed music from Need for Speed. That's more fitting for her. Plus a nice club beat to it or something like what you heard. This, I don't know. Just saying. But still, nonetheless, I wouldn't say it's the best. It's the worst boss fight ever. Just one of them. Number 4 on this list is Tekken 1 Heihachi. Also, not a bad boss fight. But I mean, he's powerful. Like, this is the first Tekken game, so, and Heihachi is the most powerful thing we've ever seen. So by default, he's a good boss. See, my issue with this boss fight is not so much Heihachi, it's more so the fact that Tekken 1 has like an ordered stage to where you fight on a random stage and you just fight all the stages in order. Like, he doesn't have his own stage. The reason why you're seeing him on this stage, Venezia, is because I set it up that way. I actually picked this. This is why I hated choreographing with Tekken 1, even though I've done a damn good job with it. I mean, if you watch the matches I've created with Tekken 1, you'll think the gameplay is actually good. But really, I'm just making it look good. But anyhow, I digress. I think the problem with this boss fight is, once again, he actually does not have his own stage. You just fight on the random stages in Tekken 1, and I can tell you the order of stages. And I can tell you where everybody's stage is. I guess it's supposed to be Heihachi's stage, but you should automatically be fighting there, so that's kind of stupid. But, whatever. Alright, number 3. Tekken 4, Heihachi. This one might confuse some people. Now, if you fight the default boss stage with Heihachi in this arena, this is actually one of the best boss fights. But the problem is that's him in his underwear. He makes his grand entrance. That's actually good, but that's not canon. His actual canon boss fight is this against Kazuya. And it sucks because he's in this regular black gi. And they have a little short dialogue. No grand entrance like the non-canon Heihachi boss fight. It's just makes this boss fight undesirable. Like, if they set up to where Heihachi makes his big entrance in his kondo shiki, whatever you want to call it, his fucking adult diaper, and then he walks down and he sees Kazuya waiting for him, and then they had the dialogue. Okay, now that would have been better. Instead, they gave us what they gave us, which makes the boss fight sucks. Because what makes this boss fight so great is Heihachi's entrance itself. On top of how strong he already is. So yeah, this is one of the bad boss fights because of that. Number 2 on this list, Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection, Jinpachi. Keyword, Dark Resurrection, not the original. The original is good because I didn't have to play it on PSP to get the entire game, and there's dialogue with Jinpachi that makes him interesting. So when you first see him walking towards you and talking to you, you know you're in for a fight. You know he's powerful. This, you just get him on fire, which is nice, but this is the PS3 version. You know, so this is what you get if you don't want to play the game on handheld. You get no dialogue. You just fight Jinpachi, and he feels less powerful for whatever reason, which is why I beat him so easily here. Yeah, this is the ending, by the way. They couldn't even bother. They gave you even a half-assed ending on PS3. But the number 1 on this list is probably going to be pretty obvious. The worst boss fight. Now, number one on this list is a legit bad boss fight. So bad of a boss fight They didn't even bother making it canon. I'm not even joking. Now, the worst boss fight in Tekken history. Tekken 6 Azazel. Now, he's OP if you fight him in an arcade version, but he's not OP in a good way like Jinpachi was in Tekken 5. He's just this big monster that's not even as interesting as Ogre. This is such an Ogre wannabe. Oh man, he's pretty much like Ogre in his true Ogre that can talk. That's bigger. This boss fight, I mean, he sucks. He just sucks. I'm glad. That's probably why they got rid of Azazel after Tekken 6. I mean, this boss fight is just ass. He sucks. There's nothing interesting about Azazel whatsoever, other than that he's big and strong, and he's the rectifier or whatever the fuck. That's why Tekken 6 was never finished. The King of Iron Fist Tournament 6, because of what happened to Jin, because of this happening right here, Jin fighting Azazel and then passing out while Azazel died, the tournament could not continue. So the King of Iron Fist Tournament 5 was the last actually completed tournament. So all of Azazel's ending, killing Beck and all that, killing Wang, those aren't canon. They're not dead. But I digress. Azazel is the worst boss fight ever. I'm pretty sure nobody cares to see Azazel again. They pretty much gave Azazel's powers to Zafina because they could at least make Zafina more interesting than Azazel. So yeah, that's the video, folks. These are the top 5 worst boss fights in my opinion. Everyone would probably agree that Azazel is the worst of all. He's not fun to fight against at all. He's not interesting. He's just an OP ogre that can spin his tail pretty much. So yeah, but y'all let me know if y'all don't think Azazel is the worst boss fight in Tekken. You let me know, because I can't think of a worse boss fight in Tekken. I think Tekken 6 in general sucked, but that's the worst boss fight ever, in my opinion.